In Lumania, all we do is sit and think, literally. That's all Lumania is about. It's the land of light. Because when God was hovering above the waters and the Spirit of God was the only thing there, and he said, let there be light, we were created. And so us having light, which is another word for knowledge, means that we have to think a lot, because thought is the only thing on earth and in the realms that has an effect on knowledge. You see, because you can do things differently to what you know is right. You can corrupt yourself, but you'll always lose, because activity and what you do cannot come up against knowledge. Knowledge is knowledge. That's why it survives the ages. You can also manipulate things. You can also use your desire to change outcomes for a while. You know, it's kind of like when you don't like someone at work and then you have to act like you like them just to get a promotion or show your boss that you're a good people person. I don't know. I don't work in an office like that. But at the end, you'll always just be known as someone who's two-faced or fake eventually. I mean, look at Romy. Everyone knows how two-faced she is now. Yeah, in the beginning it was fun, manipulating people, blackmailing people. But now everybody knows, because that's knowledge. If you do bad things to good people, Yeshua's going to get you. Everybody knows that. We're in the Lumen 1267 of the Pentaclia now. It's Maradon 6 as I'm recording this. And we're in the pulse of Vernon, the seed season. And everything that we lay down in this period has to be nurtured. And you nurture it with thought, because thought is the only thing that has an effect on knowledge. And if you can have an effect on what you know, it's the only way you'll be able to manifest anything into your reality, because you can only manifest what you know, not what you believe, not what you think, not what you feel, and definitely not what you do, but what you know. And your job as a star marine in the order of Melchizedek, a priest king forever you are, your role is to know. But how do you know that you know what you need to know in order to go where you want to go? What if there's something missing? What if there's this little piece of information that if you just had it, everything would click into place and you'd be able to have full control over your reality? Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not your concern. Because if you really want to go where no one on this earth ever really goes, if you really want to see what very few people have ever seen, things you've only ever dreamt about or read about in fantasy novels, if you want to hear secrets, words uttered in realms that you didn't even know existed, then you have to forget what you know. You have to let it go. You have to forgive yourself and society for keeping you held down in a virtual reality created to turn you into a useless eater, to turn you into a consumer. Because remember, in Hydra, we don't eat, we feed. We don't consume, we feed. We feed off of the light, because man lives on more than bread alone. We eat the manna of the realms coming through this earth, through divine providence, the golden spiral, the vortex, as some of you call it. How do you think this recording even ended up into your current reality right now? Do you think that when you had the thought to listen to this, to press play, that's when this recording manifested into existence? No. It existed before my voice even uttered its first cry out of my mother's womb. Because everything is part of a divine plan, a design that comes from knowledge. And in Lumania, we have all the knowledge because we know the secrets of creation. But we also know that here on earth, the sixth day humans, the humans that we created with God on the sixth day, as you read in the Bible, let us make man in our image, us. That was God and star marines, which we later read in the next chapter that God created us before he created all the grass and vegetation and birds on earth. That's why birds follow us around. They love us because birds are Arcturus. And then God created the stars and the constellations, holding all of the knowledge of where we come from, us star marines, the aliens, the autistic people, the sangomas, the witches, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call us. We're the ones keeping everyone's destiny on track. Can you imagine the havoc that would be amok on this planet if God didn't think to leave us here? If God didn't think, hey, I'm going to have all of these people that I'm going to be creating, these humans, and then I got to go and create more stuff. So I need to have shepherds here to look after these people. And the shepherds need to be a kind of direct line of communication to me because I am busy. And while I make these shepherds, I might as well give them full authority to name creatures and create things and dismantle things. And I might as well, just give them authority over every single thing I've created, including the good and the evil. That's why when you evil people, cross-watchers, comics who might be hearing this, or Christian fundamentalists, when you guys come after us, we laugh at you because you don't know who we work for, and only someone who's ignorant and blind would come after us. And so we forgive you before you even make the first move. But our husband, Yeshua, HaMashiach Mechodish Ken Ben David, he's a different type. He will crack your skull. He's card number 13. He's the death card. He is the one riding the pale horse with the rose on it. He's the rose behind the cross. And that's why, if you look at that tarot card, amongst all the scattered bones and flesh and carnage in that card, the only person who's alive is the priest, Melchizedek, you and me, because we know who it is. We like number 13. We're not scared. That's our get out of jail free card. That's our telephone out of the matrix. And into it, for that matter. So it's easy for Star Marines to forgive. Forgiveness is like our trademark. We know we need to forgive because our magic is tied to our emotions. And if our emotions are heavy, are holding on to burdens, are holding on to regret, doubt, fear, then we won't be able to access our magic. So it's imperative. It's almost like a birth defect to Babylonians at how good we are at confessing. And that's why they like sacrificing us to their evil things. And they always fail. And that's why aliens always win. And this is in your Bible. But again, we understand why nobody understands. And so we forgive you. But you're not going to stop us. We're not going anywhere. We own this place. You think we're coming out of different galaxies to come in here? No, we made you already. We came from a different place. We made you. We own you. You're going to do what we tell you to do, like a robot. Because giving you options didn't work. 250 years ago, you guys beheaded King Louis XVI. And that's when you guys started thinking with your demonic parasites attached to you that you can rule yourselves, that you have individual power, that you can become a capitalist and do whatever you want under the sky. And while we do want you to multiply and be happy, because that's what we created you to do, really, go listen to my song called The Way I Is. In the verses, I structured the song to have all the complainy parts, all the shitty parts about being a black man. And then in the middle part, I just told you, get over it. All you need to do is fuck and listen to music. Because that's what we told you to do. Go forth and multiply and be prosperous. But no, you want to dabble in magic, which has nothing to do with you. Not a damn thing. That's our craft. You can't do magic just because your dad did magic and he was a rich man and he bought magic from crooked practitioners. Now you think you're a high priest. Fuck you. You don't know shit. You didn't go down into the depths of the ocean as a kid and see what's all in there. You didn't have to carry the physical, emotional, spiritual burdens of knowing what's really going on while living with adults who didn't know shit and try to impose their rules on you. And then they tell you you're autistic, and then you start acting like a human, like an idiot, so you can make it through the day. But then some of these ignorant humans think you're really an idiot, and so they try you. They play games in your face, and then they learn, because Yeshua shows them. They'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Everyone says they're waiting for the day of the Lord, but you don't want that day. We keep warning you, be quiet. You don't want Jesus to come back here, because the only thing he's coming back here to do is crack some skulls. I talk to him every day and I say, what are you doing? A few years ago, he was here with me, with us. When he's with me, he's with us. So when I say he's with me, I'm talking about 144,000 people. But then a couple of months ago, I would be like, Jesus, what's happening? And he was pissed. He was like, I'm cracking skulls at the moment. You go do monosol directive, wife. I have shit to do. And that's why all of you humans are suffering now. And this time, we're not going to help you in the way that we thought we should help you, like we did before. We're not negotiating with you anymore, is what we're saying. Yes, with Abraham, who became Abram, we did negotiate. We wanted to destroy the whole of Sodom and Gomorrah to make it an example that if you harm one innocent human individual, we will destroy all of you. Why? We don't have time to sit there in the office at the headquarters at Monoptic and go through each and single one of you. We did that already when we did the MP. Am I allowed to say that? You can, but you know. We did that when we did the Blue Book. We showed you what is happening on the ground, on the field, in the territory of this planet, Earth, 606. We showed you incorruptible evidence, proof of the corruption that is being done to kids in this planet. And not the dark, scary conspiracy stuff, just simple white-collar fraud, pyramid schemes, Ponzi's, telling people you need a degree to get a job, you need 5 years experience, but you just graduated. So basically, you're going to do whatever we want you to do. We are your pimp, essentially. We have corporatized pimpation while shitting on black people who are pimps, while the whites are doing the same. Do you know what I'm saying? They are all corrupt, black and white. So let's get the color thing out the way. We don't care what color you are. We just care if you're evil. That's all we do. We go to evil people. We are the last person you see before the end. When you meet me, well, before the whole, media, diplomat, public relations thing. When you met me before, I got a promotion. I got my Crown Marine position. You knew that you were fucked. You were about to get your skull cracked. Because I'm just the guy who explains to you why your skull's getting cracked. I'm part of the legal department. It's more of the like a sheriff. We are legal or a marshal. We call it a star marine because it's more paramilitaristic in the spiritual sense. On Earth, we're just normal, regular humans. But in the spiritual sense, when we go to sleep, we don't actually sleep. We go to an alien spaceship where we think. And all that thinking turns into a golden spiral that flows through the earth like a butterfly effect. And it goes all through the realms down to earth. And it makes people, all humans, because we created all the humans, it makes all of them do what we want, like a download. A lot of you on YouTube talk about, I got a download. Yes, from us. We gave you the download. That's why if you look at my videos, the words I was using 5 years ago are words you are using now because I made you do it. And I showed you how to do it because one day you will do it too, whoever's listening. That's why you're listening. This is your onboarding. I'm just a cranky teacher at the moment because I gave all my good teaching energy to crooks and criminals because I had to. You see, when I was trained, I was told by my trainer, if you do something pretending wise, you're being fake. And the law of averages will not work for you. She used to tell me, we used to sell insurance door to door when I was 19. And she taught me everything about magic. The foundational. Then, of course, it opened up a huge door where I learned, how to find who you really are. And all of this, by the way, against the backdrop of Yeshua at 5 years old coming to recruit me into the Star Marine program. And then age 6, I went to acting. You've heard this in other episodes. of this Surviving Romy podcast, because this is how I survive. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Offensive magic. Because Star Marines, we do not take defensive action. That is not allowed. We don't know what that is. We only do offensive operations, OOs. So when someone pisses us off, it's an OO, because Jesus gets activated and a sequence of events begins to unfold which are inescapable, unavoidable, and pretty much low-key creepy and scary. Because like I said, we go to sleep, we think what to do to you, we talk to all the people in the realms, and then we come back and you get downloads, and then you do what we want you to do, and we just sit in our rooms on our bed. Why? Because King David, our forefather, told us in Psalm 4:4, be angry. He said, be angry. Please don't pretend like you're happy that these evil humans exist. Be angry about it, that they're dragging your name through the mud. Just don't take action and sin on it. So be angry and do not sin. That's the instruction we were given by our grandfather. And so that's all we do. We sit and be calm. That's why we forgive instantly. It's easy to forgive, because if we don't forgive, Jesus can't activate the plan. And then the bad people get away. So we have to forgive in order, and we have to do it 70 times 7 so that Jesus can activate the spirits and God can send evil spirits to the people. And people say, oh, you said God controls evil spirits? Yes, it's written in the Bible. Google it. God sends evil spirits. Multiple times. Because like I said, we control everything. The only person who controls us is God the Father. And we have access to him through our interface, our husband, Yeshua HaMashiach. Mechodesh came. He's a sanctifier. Everything we touch is sanctified. Why? Because God the Father told us we can do whatever we want. He told our first father, Adam, and our first mother, Eve, you guys can do whatever you want here. We were the only ones given that instruction. The people created on the 6th day were never told to do science and to read tarot cards and to go under the ocean and look for things and put internet cables in my oceans. No one told them to do that, but we let them so they could fuck up and we could judge all of them in a net. Because we were tired of doing it one by one, all over the world, all different cultures. We had to say the same thing to the Egyptians, to the Mesoamericans, to the Chinese people. We were tired because now you all have different versions of pyramids and you're getting more confused. So we said, fine, we'll just get them all in one net. Every religion, every skin color, every country, every border, every nation, we'll catch them. That's what we said 1,000 years ago. Well, 2,000 years ago, before we started the Yeshua program. So why? Why did we do this? Well, we needed to catch all of you at once because we are busy. We don't have time for your bullshit. We weren't created to be your nannies the whole time. We have other shit to do. So we wanted to use marketing and media. So we had to make someone famous. So Yeshua, by the way, if you didn't know, the Bible, the Holy Bible, is the best-selling book on planet Earth. Look it up. Yes, you've seen blockbusters, but the best-selling book on this planet is the Holy Bible. So we had to use television now. So now cut to 1,000 years, 2,000 years after that. We had to use television to catch you. Why? Because all of you go to the same synagogue of cinema. That's why we do cinema. If you guys did sports, then we would all do sports. If you guys were fishing, then we would all become fishermen. We do whatever you guys want. Do I personally give a shit about fame and celeb? No, couldn't be bothered. But do I give a shit about the mission? 100%. And the mission requires pata. And pata is our link into this part of the mission, the Academy. What do you think the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is for? It's for Star Marines. Everyone in there is a Star Marine. They all know what I'm talking about. That's why we all go there. It's the only place that's safe for us. It's the Academy. Starseed, do you guys get it now? What's happening? So forget about the actual fame and celebrity in movies. Think of this as a military operation on a spiritual level so far high up, it's beyond above top secret, okay? We are talking about a scheme, a pyramid scheme, a holy pyramid scheme to capture every single evil person and expose them in every religion, every culture, every country at the same time. That's wild. And we did it. We did it through a movie. And that's why I told you before we needed to control the Telecommunications Act of 1996. If it wasn't for that, my movie that I did a month ago couldn't have happened. Never. Because Elon Musk wouldn't have been able to buy Twitter. And if Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter, my movie wouldn't have happened. That's why we told you, listen to Elon Musk. We need him right now. When we don't, we'll let you know. But he's a good boy right now. Because he's the only one who's following our instructions. Well, that we can tell you about. So I don't care how he does his hands and arms. You need to focus on the real thing. You need the spirit of discernment so you can see what's really going on in the world. I know. I'm talking to Star Marines right now. If you're a human, you don't need to be listening to this. So my job is to wake up the Star Marines with the latent abilities. If you are listening to this, you are a Star Marine. Because we have wards around my content that no one can find me unless they are part of the mission and program, which is part of the highest good of realities through the realms. So all evil is bound and rejected and sent back to the mental realm and the Black Moon Lilith where they belong. So if you're listening to this, you need to just be aware that I'm not talking about other people to you. You're not researching me. You're not trying to find out about me. We've designed this to capture you. You are here for a purpose. We brought you here. It's the same thing I say in my book. If you are reading this book, it's because we want you to read the book. Only people we want to know. And it's not because completely of us. You see, that's the thing about being a Star Marine. It's not that we are God. No, hell no. Because God created the people that report to us. He just gave us the authority to take over, to control everything. So those people report to us. So you as a human trying to use a spell, a death spell, on a Star Marine is like an ant trying to eat and swallow a 6-foot man human, Stephen Curry. It's not gonna happen. In fact, we will squish you before you even try. And we are waking you up now so that you stop your sickness. And we are not telling you and warning you anymore. We don't have time to stand on the side of the street holding street signs saying the end is nigh. We are hanging out with Ben and Andy. We don't have time for that anymore. So now we are giving you recursive immersive wound re-stimulation therapy. Oh, yes. And my mother was the top person on that program to make sure you mother fraggers get the shit out of your brains that you can control a star marine or any of God's creations without authority given through God the Father that you can only reach through Yeshua. So what I'm telling you now is if you don't know Yeshua and he doesn't know you, you're fucked. Because this recursive immersive wound re-stimulation therapy that was developed in Andromeda by my alien mother and father, who's Lyran, by the way, my father, comes from codes directly from Hydra. All this technology, the infinite polarity labs where they work, is funded by Hydra. And if you know anything about anything, you don't fudge with Hydra. Hydra will not even crack your skull. They'll smite you. You'll be smoted. You'll disappear. People will Google your name and Google will say, we don't know you. You will become a pip. Do you know Hydra? You cut off one, 10 more grow. You come off them. Why do you think the whole world is just watching me? Letting me do this, and everyone else who tries what I try ends up deadened. Not me. Because they know if you come after me, 5 million more will come out. And it will be literally hell on earth. You don't fuck with the Star Marine. You can do it to your humans, yes. That's why we created Law and Order. So you can sort it out yourselves. Do you think King Solomon enjoyed sitting there telling people he wants to chop up their babies so that they get it through their thick skulls, not to do stupid lies that we can see straight through? Do you know how bored King Solomon was? Utterly bored with the level of incompetency around him. And that's a warning to us as Star Marines. You know, you cannot ever identify with humans because you'll end up doing human things, and that's what King Solomon started doing, right? But because he was smart about it, he got away with it. And that's another signal to you, Star Marines. You can do whatever you want, basically. You know all the loopholes of the real spiritual law, of the real craft. You know which laws, like if you stay celibate, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Or you could just be like a human and sleep around with people and have all your powers depleted. But because you're a Star Marine, they won't be depleted. You'll just attract more tougher missions, meaning more demonic adversaries to send back into the aquamarine. But either way, it's like fine because you forgive it. It's what you prefer. I mean, could you imagine a Star Marine in an office taking orders from someone who doesn't even have qualifications high enough, like earthly qualifications, to even like blow or sneeze at you, and they're telling you to make photocopies? Who can spend their life making photocopies unless those photocopies are like the photocopies I used to make in high school? Well, actually, my teacher used to make them, and I used to stand outside the door as a lookout because I was banned from printing at school because I used to print my own newspaper of the truth. And so the entire school, because of me, got banned from printing, meaning everyone who wanted to print from then on had to go to a committee. Yes, they developed a committee and high school because of me to check what everyone's printing, and all prints were sent, like a scan was made and sent to a database because they tried to ban my paper. And then one of my Star Marine teachers said, "Don't worry, I'll print for you in the staff room." So then after school, we would sneak out and go to the staff room, and she would print for free. So now I'm not even paying. You see what happens when you fuck with Star Marines. So I used to pay 30 cents for 100 copies. That's like 30 Rand or something. But now I'm getting it for free because they banned me. You see, humans, when you humans try us, you get more shit. So now this teacher is telling me, "Hey, stand outside this door, whistle if someone comes, I'm printing your newspaper," because people need to know the truth. So there's always a Star Marine somewhere waiting for us. And that's why it's best to just get out of our way. That's what we really want. We want to be left alone by humans. Don't look at us. Don't talk to us. Please don't ask us questions. If we have something to say, we will tell you. And if we tell you something, you better do it, or else. Our husband will tell God you don't listen. And you know what we do with stubborn people? Even King David, when he did his own census, who told him to do a census? You see, even King David started acting like a human because he's like, "Oh, I've got a new job. I must do what the people before me did." No, you do what we tell you to do, or what Hydra tells you to do. And that's that. That's how it works. So I'm just thrilled to present monoptic technology to the entire planet. This is, what we've been thinking about since the beginning of time. How to, in one fell swoop, upgrade the entire population. All skin colors, all ages, whatever. And we had to use media first. So we had to make Jesus famous. We had to put him on a book. We had to make movies and IP. And we had to do images of white Jesus because you all were being racist. So we said, fine, then we'll give you what. If you want to do that, do it. But we'll give you this picture because we're going to need that in 2,000 years. When Charlie Manor comes, he's going to need that picture to decode and have the remembering required to usher in the age of Aquarius, which is now here. Because we are in Venus return. We made it through the hole. We changed timelines. And that's why I'm able to come to you now and just tell you everything that's been going on. And nothing's going to happen, to me anyway, because it's been sanctified. That's what my husband does. Everything I touch, remember when I said I'm saying you. All you 144 chosen ones, you are charmed. You're Star Marine. And we do have divine assisters. So these are humans that help us and that know about us. They come from human families who've known about us through the ages and who've helped us escape many things. So not all humans are idiots. There are wonderful humans who help us. And yes, we marry some of them. We've had kids with some of them. They're called divine assisters. But then you also have your dyad. There's so much more we can talk about now that we have moved into a timeline where we can talk about it without facing any repercussions from humans who think that they have control over the elements of this world, when we are the fifth element, the one from which all elements came from. We are the safety mechanism that was built into this planet so that when you humans get out of hand, we will correct you. And when you mess with us, you mess with the elements. So yes, natural disasters belong to us. If you mess with us, Ogun will burn you. Sarabanda. Who do you want? We've got them. Revelations 2:28. Jesus clearly states, he will give the one who overcomes the morning star. And Star Marines are overcomers. The whole purpose of acting is to overcome. When you go to acting school, they tell you the objective of a scene is to overcome something, and your job as an actor is to figure out what that something is, which is the subtext of the text. And Stella Adler gives you 13 steps on how to find out what that is. And if you apply those 13 steps into your everyday real life, you will understand what everyone around you is saying and really doing. And then you, as a human, a normal human, yes, will start to have powers that are similar to a star marine. And as you develop in those powers by reading my book, which is available on Amazon, follow the link somewhere, you're smart enough to find it, you will be able to get into the vibration of what a star marine does, which will attract you to becoming a chosen one. And so instead of 144,000, it might be 244,000, 500 million, the whole world. But the ones that made it, through the demultiplexing process were 144,000. That's all we had to start with. So this isn't some exclusive group like, oh my gosh, we're better than you guys. We were all created by God. We were just made before you. That's all. Your parents are not necessarily better than you. You are more on the leading edge because you know what's all going on. That's why I don't know what I get stuck on words. And I sound like I'm speaking from the 1950s with the mid-Atlantic accent because that's the program I'm using. I don't know your words. The last time I was here was 1899. I was born. Before I was born again. Well, it's like being born. We don't really die or be born, but you know what I mean. So I don't know all your lingos, your cool bro, rizmatic. I don't know what that shit is. But I have to learn it so I can download the program into your brains when you're sleeping. And then I test it out on Reddit, where you can see posts in our Lumania where we do that. You see, that's why they leave me alone, because everything I say, you can see evidence. And then they're like, oh, we can't address this because we're going to have to then put a light on him, and then everyone will know. Yeah, but we don't care. I don't care because it's in the Bible. We've known for 2,000 years in that language, in like common terms. But before then, people knew too. In Akkad, you knew. Why do you think it's called Akkad? Because of Arcadia in the sky. And Arcadia is in the Boetes constellation, which shows a herdsman trampling a snake. A herdsman, star marine in the sky, trampling a snake. Hello, wake up. Okay? We own you. You do what we tell you to do. That's the language I'm using now with you people, because the whole kumbaya, come to me gently has not been working. So you're going to get with the program and join the angel network, or you're going to meet my husband, Yeshua.